The world's strongest man competition. These guys have muscles in places most people don't even have places. Welcome to Malta, the site of this year's World's Strongest Man finals. Who will make it through to this beautiful Mediterranean island renowned for its relaxed way of life? Well, to find out, we have to travel north to the land of the Viking, Stavanger in Norway, where 3 men will make it through from what promises to be a ferocious lineup. It has to be one of the most beautiful settings in Northern Europe. The stunning fjords of Western Norway. And in this rugged and hard landscape, strength is a virtue much appreciated. Let's go to the Kurgaparken Theatre to join our 12 international strongmen, 3,000 local fans. To talk us through the action, it's Colin Bryce, and first, Paul Dickinson.
Thanks very much indeed, Martin. We've got a tremendous lineup of strongmen for you. First of all, Ole Martin Hansen making his international debut. One of his teammates, Ole Oksnevad, continuing the Norwegian strongman tradition. Slavomir Tojcek of Poland, a former world's strongest man competitor. Jimmy Marku of England trying to make up for a disappointment in Mohegan Sun. Jarek Dymek, the old campaigner from Poland, Europe's strongest man in 2005. Johannes Arhu of Sweden, a new man but a very exciting competitor. Kevin Nee of the United States trying to get over a bicep injury. Stefan Solveig Petersen of Iceland, Iceland's strongest man, and that in itself is a great achievement. Mikhail Kokaev of Russia, 7 times the national weightlifting champion. Bjorn André Solvang of Norway, 3rd in Norway's strongest man this year. Travis Ortmeyer of the United States, 2nd in Mohegan Sun, already through to the final. And a lost competitor, 4th Norwegian, Richard Skog, Norway's strongest man. So now it's over to our presenters, Colin Bryce and a former all-time great, Sven Karlsson.
So our first event is head-to-head super yoke. Now, Sven used to be great at this event. Now, of course, you're the man in charge. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, this is the first event and probably my signature event, like you said. And it's a yoke race, 410 kilo, 20 meters, fastest time win.
Very simple and a real tough start to the Viking Power Challenge.
Just catching up with some of the earlier competitors, Ole Oksnevad, only 19 years old, 13 metres and 3 centimetres. Ole Martin Hansen, his Norwegian teammate, 14.88. Bjorn André Solvang, another Norwegian, only 3 metres. And Slavomir Tojcek of Poland, 20 metres in 20.49 for the lead. Now a chance for Jimmy Marku of England to impress, Britain's strongest man last year. He's up against Jarek Dymek, the old campaigner, and one of the strongest men in Europe for many, many years. So Marku on the left-hand side. This really is difficult. Over 900 pounds this yoke weighs, and Marku just wobbling a little bit, Colin.
Well, it is so incredibly heavy. You need colossal core strength around the stomach and abdominal muscles. Oh, and Marku just in the lead. Dymek caught the edge of his super yoke there and has gone down.
That's a very good performance by Jimmy Marku, and I'm surprised that Jarek Dymek let it slide. But certainly, Marku has performed extremely well, 23.28. But Dymek forges ahead. This is all for pride now, despite the fact he dropped it. Almost pushes the whole apparatus through the finish line. So fighting performance there by Jarek Dymek, but Jimmy Marku finishing well. Good time for the Englishman. And Marku just confirming his time, 23.28. That's him in 2nd place for the time being. Johannes Arhu, just 23 years old, up against Kevin Nee. Both of them the same age. This is going to be a fascinating competition. It really is a mixture of cardiovascular strength and fitness. A massive weight, and you've got to keep it stable. And these two guys are absolutely sprinting away. I tell you what, this is not going to last long. On the far side, Kevin Nee, they're just wobbling a little bit, but the American is coming away. That is superb. 2 very fast times. They'll finish in first and second place for the time being. 13.27 seconds for the American and 14.5 for the Swede. Kuklayev of Russia, tremendous weightlifter in his day, and Peterson. It'll be interesting to see how Iceland's strongest man gets on here. A tremendous time set in the last heat. The leading time so far, the Americans' Kevin Nee, 13.27, and these two guys are getting away quickly as well. Now, can anybody beat that previous time? It's going to be neck and neck all the way down the straight. And just on the far side there, oh, well, Kuklayev there, 12.41, and Peterson, 13.12. This just gets better and better. Well, certainly something for the crowd to cheer about now, the appearance of Richard Skog, Norway's strongest man. And he's up against one of the most experienced men here today, and that's the American Travis Ortmeyer. This should be fascinating. Second at Mohegan Sun in 2009. But I think it's time we found out a little bit more about Norway's strongest man, Richard Skog, and what he's aiming for here.
Winning Norway's strongest man was great. It felt good. It was the third time I tried it, and now I guess the pressure is on me. Yeah. Back in the days, I used to be a soldier, 6 years professional, elite soldier. Now I'm much bigger, I'm heavier, stronger of course, but I have speed and explosiveness. And the first event today, it's the super yoke. And I guess I'm gonna go against Travis Ortmeyer. I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be exciting and explosive. And Travis Ortmeyer, I'm coming for you.
That's fighting talk there from the Norwegian. He really has got a tough competitor in Ortmeyer. There goes the big man. And both of them have got away very quickly indeed, but it's Ortmeyer who's just leading by a whisker at the moment. It's going to be so close. Oh, they're going to have to take a close look at that. But Ortmeyer just got it, 12.31 against 12.49. And again, the standard has been increased. Absolutely superb. And actually, Ortmeyer was coming from behind, but that is a superb time. And that seals it. Maximum points for the American. Already through to the World's Strongest Man final, of course, but getting better and better all the time.
Travis won it, but it was close.
Yeah. Travis, how did you were behind almost all the way?
I know. I saw him get away from me about 2/3 of the way through. I just held my breath and caught him as much as I could, and at the line I just dove. I guess it was enough.
I thought you were going to go off the end of the stage there.
Hey, it'd have been worth it. For first, I'd have done it.
Travis Ortmeyer risking life and limb to guarantee a win by a mere 1/10 of a second over the Russian weightlifter Kuklayev. For Great Britain, Jimmy Marku's 23.28 seconds gives him 8th place. We'll be back with an event he's looking forward to, log pressing. Welcome back to Stavanger in Norway. Powerful scenery is the last thing on our strongmen's minds as they get ready for the ultimate shoulder strength test. Over to Colin and the beautifully presented Sven Karlsson.
Event 2 is the log press, last man standing rules. Now, who can lift the most weight overhead? It's as simple as that, and the rounds get higher and higher. Sven, former world record holder in this, what's the starting weight, and what do you think the finishing weight will be?
Well, it's starting up with 140 kilo, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see 200 today.
Well, 185 kilos was his world record. It'd be amazing to see it go up to 200.
We can just catch up with the progress of some of the early competitors. Ole Oksnevad failed at 160, having achieved 150 as a best. Ole Martin Hansen of Norway, he failed 170, so his best 160. The same as Peterson of Iceland, who eventually failed at 170. So 175 kilos on the bar. It's a massive weight. We're now approaching 400 pounds. And Colin, in the previous programme, we had a wooden log. This one is going to be much better balanced. I would suggest probably more suited to those people who are technically good at lifting.
Absolutely. It gets rid of any variables, and the athletes like that. Pressure's on then for this young man. 175 is a personal best for him.
Just having a little bit of a struggle there, getting it up to his chest. And, of course, without it going up to his chest. There's no way he's going to get it above his head. These guys have got incredibly strong shoulders. He's looking a little bit off balance there, but he gets it. That is superb. Success at 175. Good lift and a little dance as well. What a mover.
Great explosion with the legs. Just manages to lock it out. Personal best.
Well, Dimmock, he's achieved 170 already. This is 175 to equal the lead of Solvang. He never gives up, this guy. He just sees wobbling a little bit, and that's not good. And that is down and no more. So Jarek Dimmock's best lift of the day, 170 kilos. A chance now for Jimmy Marcoux. Britain's strongest man really could do with success here.
He's a good log presser. He's done 180 before. Ooh, funny technique. But the press, look at that, Paul. Colossal shoulder power.
Reminds me of one Glenn Ross who had massive upper body strength. That was beautiful. Just rolled it up to his chest. And then a super smooth lift above his head. Slavomir Tojcek now, former world's strongest man competitor, and certainly he'd like to get back in that competition, do a bit of damage. He's already achieved 170, so trying to achieve what Marcoux and Solvang have done, but he's failed. So Tojcek is out.
Well, the old Tojcek would have done that, I'm sure. Now, Johannes Arhout, the new generation of Sweden. Magnus Samuelsson, of course, never a great lifter himself at the log lift. This was his one weakness.
There really is an amazing number of young competitors here, and this speaks well for the future of strongman competition. Oh boy, he's super, super strong. What he lacks in technique, he makes up for with sheer strength and determination. There's knee now of the United States, come on. I just wonder whether the old injury to his bicep could affect him here.
Well, it'll affect him when he's trying to get it to his shoulders, that's for sure. It's on his right arm there. He's got it bandaged up. Oh, he used his belt well.
Strong or what? But was it locked out? I don't think it was, you know. That surely is a good lift now. 175, so another competitor has success at that weight.
Rene Minkvits, former world's strongest man competitor, refereeing here. Richard Skog wasting no time.
We've got a bit of a log jam literally at the top of the leaderboard now at 175. I just wonder whether we'll see that magical figure of 200 kilos being lifted today.
Well, it'd be doubtful. These guys are having to come out here so quickly, one after the other. But if anyone will do it, it'll be Koklaev. 175 here. I imagine. Yes, it is. Easy.
There's a good weightlifter for you. And in terms of points, I think this has got to be a banker for the Russian. Travis Ortmeyer next. Very, very tall, so he may have a slight disadvantage in terms of getting the weight up to his chest. You've seen what a gritty competitor he is already. He's already got 170, so there will be points on the board. Oh, no. No. And Travis Ortmeyer has been eliminated. That is a bit of a surprise.
I don't think he's too happy about it either. Expects so much of himself, Ortmeyer. So we go up to 180 kilos, just shy of 400 pounds then. And Ortmeyer won't be one of them.
Well, Solvang will be the first to attempt this new weight. 180, as Colin was saying, just a tad short of 400 pounds, but it's a magical figure in weightlifting terms for any lifter. I know the super heavyweight record has gone way, way above 250 now, but 180 is still a very competent lift. Now, what has Solvang got? 175 he's achieved already. It's amazing the difference that 5 kilograms can make, Colin.
Oh, absolutely. And it's just so awkward, the log. You know, unlike on a bar with the weightlifting you're talking about, you know, that's so easy to get the technique and learn and use the bar, but not here. Not so with a log. It just takes brutal strength. Now, Marcoux at 175, he almost fell backwards when he lifted it from his hips. Let's see what he does here. Ooh, goodness. That's got to put a lot of pressure on the lower back.
I tell you what, this is really testing them, this weight. A number of the guys look very good at 175, but 180 is proving very difficult. I don't think Marku's going to do it, you know. He's run out of time, so his best stays at 175 kilograms. Johannes Arhu of Sweden. Rolls it onto his chest. That looked good. Nobody's lifted it yet. Oh my goodness. He got it up to his chest very quickly, but he too has to be satisfied with 175.
Well, is anyone going to do this? Kevin Nee from Boston. He's done 185 in training. This is well within his capabilities.
Oh, it looks good. It looks good. 180 given. Has he done any damage to that bicep? He's been rubbing it, walking off the stage. I just wonder if the American is suffering. Richard Skog comes bounding onto the stage here. He wants to get on with it. He wants to achieve exactly the same weight as Kevin Nee of the United States. That was a little bit too far down there. And now he's really going to struggle.
The wobble's on now. He's tired. He doesn't have the core strength for this weight. As much as he wants it, he's not going to will it up. And that leaves Koklaev now.
Well, you wouldn't bet against this guy, would you? Very competent weightlifter. The right stance, the right drive with the legs, and exactly the right result. It smiles all round for the Russian.
So what do they go up to now? There's only two men left in the competition. It's Nee and it's Koklaev. And we look again at how easy it was for Koklaev. He's got to be looking at 190 without a problem, really, and try and put the pressure on Nee.
Look at that, the Russian even standing on one leg there. Well, 190 kilograms on the bar. Kevin Nee is saying, no, I'm not going to do it. He wants to protect that arm. And that's very good advice, I would have thought, from the American.
Well, you have to think it would have been better for the Russian now to have done 185, don't you? Maybe some gamesmanship from Nee there, calling 190.
So Mikhail Koklaev of Russia. He's got to do this to get maximum points. Otherwise, Nee and himself will share the points. And that's a slightly laborious clean or roll up the chest there compared with the other weights. Has he got what it takes? No, he hasn't. So we're not going to see the 200 kilogram lift that Sven Carlsen expected, but Mikhail Koklaev is certainly the best we've seen today.
So, Michael, you could have won the event with 185 kilo, but you tried 190. Why?
Because Russians like round number. 190, 180, 200, 210. We don't like 195.
Koklaev seems to have missed a big opportunity to take the win there. I just wonder if he'll regret that mistake. England's Jimmy Marku hits 175 kilos, earning him third place. Koklaev is now 3 points ahead of Kevin Nee. Jimmy moves up to 6th and keeps his chances of gaining a top 3 place alive, assuming he makes the cut. The next event is the car deadlift, and the back end of these 2-ton cars have to be lifted as many times as possible in 60 seconds. Back to Paul and Colin to take you through the action.
Among some of the early competitors, Jarek Dymek of Poland, he achieved 5 repetitions, closely followed by Tojcek, his teammate, who got 7. Then Oxnevad of Norway, he finished on 6 reps. And Peterson of Iceland, he went into the lead on 8. Jimmy Marku, though, a tremendous performance from the Englishman, 11 reps. Solvang of Norway, only 5. So it's Jimmy Marku in the lead, but now we've got Ortmeyer of the United States and Hansen of Norway making his international debut. We know what a fine competitor already Ortmeyer can be. Just wonder if this event is to his liking. It's a long, hard pull, and I think actually Hansen's got away to a false start, which is not only against the rules, it's a waste of energy. So he could have put himself there at a disadvantage. So the clock starts now. Ortmeyer the first to get away. That was a mistake by Hansen, wasn't it?
Oh, big mistake. Big nerves, though, in his first major international. And, of course, he's on home soil. A lot of his friends and family here watching. But this isn't an event he's good at. He could pull 8 or 9 reps here, but look at Ortmeyer. Already onto his 7th, hunting down Jimmy Markou's 11 reps.
Tell you what, Ortmeyer is an absolute brute. Long arms, doesn't bend the legs very much, but obviously has a tremendously strong back. So Jimmy Markou's lead, remember, 11 reps, and Ortmeyer has equaled it. Hansen just struggling a wee bit. He's only on 5. Ortmeyer absolutely streaking ahead now. This is a fine performance by the American. Hansen now, he's increased to 7. How much has he got left? Ortmeyer, he's finished, I think, on 13. Hansen just looking around, and the clock stops now. Great result for Travis Ortmeyer. A new leader, a brilliant performance, and Hansen finishes with 8. Well, next up, we have another Norwegian, Skog, Norway's strongest man, and that in itself is a tremendous title to win. You know how seriously the Scandinavians are about their strongmen competitions, and he's up against Arhu, the youngster on the right-hand side. Arhu there a little bit jerky with his lift, not the tremendously smooth pull that Skog has.
Right, I mean, you forget that Arhu is really quite a young man. Doesn't have anywhere near the gym time of some of these other guys. He's just raw, brutally strong. Skog, 6 reps. Almost 2 meters tall, though, Skog, and that's a disadvantage in this type of competition. You know, Skog, when he was a special services soldier, was 130 kilos and fit. Now 155 as a strongman and weightlifter.
Well, I just wonder how much Arhu has got left. He's just taking a bit of a breather there. Skog desperately trying to get that bar up, and he does. He's now got 8 reps. Still some way behind Jimmy Markou and, of course, Ortmeyer. Well, Arhu, I just wonder if he's got anything left. No, he hasn't. So the scores remain at Skog on 8 reps and Arhu on 5.
Well, the Scandinavians are doing well. You'd expect them to. But certainly Skog angling now for a podium position in this competition. Clive, though, I'm sure has a lot to say about this event. He's so good at this type of thing. And Knee, remember, one of the few men in the world to have lifted over 400 kilos in a deadlift.
Yes, but I still wonder about that right bicep of his, but it's Knee who gets away to quite a quick start there. Kaklaev, lovely smooth pull. He's a real technician, is the Russian. On 4 each. And they're really producing some tremendous lifts here at a great pace as well, Colin.
Neck and neck. You can see Kaklaev, the taller man. You get a nice side shot here. He's lifting it at least 3 inches higher each time. Knees hit the wall, though. He's burnt out. He was quicker over the first 5 or 6. Of course, when you've had an injury, Paul, you don't have the fitness, do you?
No, you certainly don't. It's easily lost if any training is missed. But look at that. They're both locked now on 11, but Kaklaev has just gone ahead on 12. Now, what has Knee got left? What has the Russian Kaklaev got left? Knee gets 12 as well, and they're both running out of time. So they've tied on 12 repetitions each. Good performance by both men. But it's Travis Ortmeyer who sprung a surprise on everybody. He takes maximum points.
Travis Ortmeyer beats 2 revered deadlifters in Kaklaev and Knee, and Jimmy Markou's 11 reps secure him 4th place. In fact, Markou has now moved up again. He's in 5th position. The Russian Kaklaev is on top with 33 points. Those outside the top 6 have now been cut.
So Travis, won the deadlift now, back on track, top 3. How do you look at the rest of the competition?
I was telling some of the other guys, hopefully the log was going to be my weakest event. These next 3, these should be pretty good. I think our first place is still in reach.
Well, good luck to you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome back to Stavanger in Norway. The world's strongest man qualifying contest continues. Over to Colin Bryce with details of the next event.
So we've had a cut. We're 12 men down to 6. And our next event is the Fingal's Finger. They have to flip this 300-kilo finger up and over 5 times.
So Richard Skog, Norway's strongest man, has really got something to prove here. He's up against Peterson of Iceland. So the Norway's and Iceland's strongest men on the platform getting ready. Now, you may not think that 300 kilograms is all that much in comparison to some of the other things we've seen in strongman competitions. But I tell you what, by the time they've got to 3 or 4 repetitions, they are going to be absolutely exhausted.
And this stage is taking a battering. You see how heavy these are when it comes down. The whole stage shaking away. Now it's Skog just in the lead, hanging on here. It's an event that height makes a big difference. And Peterson is trying to catch up. Last clip then for Skog.
A tremendous amount of fitness needed here, and Skog is going to come away with a victory in the first heat. Nice little pose at the end. Peterson there doing his double arm spread as well. Big biceps by Peterson, but it's Skog who wins that first one.
You know, I think these two guys may well win this event. They're so tall, and it does help a great deal to have that leverage.
Kevin Nee now of the United States, and once again a big question mark over his fitness with that right bicep heavily strapped. He's up against Jimmy Markku, Britain's strongest man, who's very experienced in this event. But certainly Skog and Peterson set fantastic times. And look at this. This is a very, very slow start, a very tentative start by both Nee and Markku.
At the opposite end of the height spectrum, Markku 5'11", Nee just over 6 foot, and wow, Nee's in all kinds of trouble here. He thinks he's got nerve damage from that torn bicep. It's putting so much pain through his body right now, and it feels like it's tearing again, he was saying.
Well, if you're injured and you still carry on in a competition such as this, your body is going to be punished. There's no doubt about that at all. And Nee on the far side there really is beginning to struggle here a bit, and I think he's had enough. And that's after only 2 repetitions. So he's not going to score very well at all here. And Jimmy Markku, though, he's still got a bit of time on his side. One-handed, my goodness, that's confident. So 4 reps for Jimmy Markku. He's going to attempt the 5th, but I suspect he will run out of time. Big applause, though, for the Englishman. Really is trying hard here. Just trying to lean into it, and that is enough. Jimmy Markku finishes on 4 reps. But still, Skog and Peterson in first and second place. And poor old Nee, well, he only got 2 reps. He's going to finish way, way down. Mikhail Koklev of Russia, he will test the Russian. He's used to weightlifting type of movements, but this is totally different. Travis Ortmeyer, on the other hand, a very good all-round strongman. Should be interesting to see how the American gets on here.
Ready.
Away we go. Remember, the time to beat is Richard Skog's time of 38.88 seconds. What do you think, Colin?
Well, I think Ortmeyer's probably got a shot at it. Oh, he's running through this quickly. But Koklaev, you can tell he's not done anywhere near as much training on this. It's a different technique. It's ugly, but it's effective. He's got wild power, Koklaev. It's going to be tight, you know. 2 flips to go.
I've never ever seen a slow weightlifter, that's for sure. They're very powerful guys. Their strength over body weight is always impressive. Now here we go. Ortmeyer's time is going to be very close to Skog's 38.88 to beat. He's just outside. That's just over 39 seconds. And Koklaev there finishing as well. Travis Ortmeyer in second place. Another good performance by the American, and a pretty good one too by the Russian.
In the Fingal's Fingers, Norway's strongest man Richard Skog adds a first place to his event total. England's Jimmy Markku fails to finish the event with just 4 reps. With points hard to come by, it will certainly cost the Briton. Koklaev's 3-point lead has been whittled away as Ortmeyer has brought himself level on 39 points.
So Richard, you really need a win here in the fingers. You give you confident now going into the stones?
Yeah, but now it's going to be a fight with Travis Ortmark, Kevin Nee, Mish on the stones. It's going to be a rat race.
But who's going to be on top after the stones?
Me, I have to win, Sven. Aren't those abs much better this year than last year? I have to win the stones also. See you in the Worlds.
We could well see Richard Skog in the World Championship. He's doing very well. It's the Atlas Stones next, though. 140 up to 200 kilograms. But bad news for British fans and Jimmy Marcoux.
Well, British fans are going to be disappointed, Jimmy. You're pulling out, aren't you?
No, I can't do it because I can hardly breathe. I'm using 2 belts, which is usually I can just press and do anything with hardly a belt at all. So I can't. I've got a few competitions coming up and I can't really take a risk on that.
Bad news indeed for Jimmy Marcoux. Peterson, well, he finished 5 stones in 38.79. Kevin Nee, though, is really struggling. He only completed 1 stone. Mikhail Koklev, well, he's already shown us what a gritty competitor he can be. And can he lift the giant stone on the right-hand side of the screen? 200 kilograms. And time is of the essence here. I think he's beginning to become a more experienced competitor in this sort of event. He's used to the rough and tumble of a gymnasium, but this is a totally different animal.
Well, I think something that shows you his experience is the fact that he hasn't changed his shoes in any event. He uses his old-fashioned weightlifting shoes, wooden-soled shoes for everything, which just shows lack of experience. He could have all kinds of aids that would help him. But this is raw power, and if he gets his 5th stone up, 440 pounds, it's a monster. And Peterson, he did it, all 5 in 39 seconds. That was a tremendous feat. Koklev not going to do it in that time if he does it.
He was certainly very quick, Colin, for the first 4 stones, but as we've seen in the past with the Atlas Stones, this final lift can be really, really hard. There we go. Koklev finishes with 4 stones in a very quick 16.99. Well, Travis Ortmark, we know what a great competitor he can be. Let's find out a little bit more about him.
I'm here in Norway, representing myself and, of course, my home state, Texas. Always compete for the home. I'd say strongman is probably the top sport in the world when it comes to the camaraderie between the athletes. You know, you're going head-to-head with a guy. If you finish before him, you now become his biggest fan. You know, you're over there cheering the next guy on, and backstage, we're giving each other advice, helping each other with equipment. You know, I've come to a contest and forgotten my wraps or a belt, and one of the other competitors is going to be the first guy to help you out with that. You know, true friendship in the sport. It's a lot of fun, and I think that's why we do it. It's a different environment. I've never been this far north and competed before, so it could be tough on me. It could be great for me. I don't know. I'm not sure, but some of the top threats in this competition are going to be, obviously, Norway's champion, Richard Skog. He's a big man. I mean, he's just a monster. You know, you wouldn't think it from far away, but when you stand next to him, the guy's huge. He's strong. He just came off a win at Norway's Strongest Man, so he's got that momentum going. I always predict myself to be in first. But then I'd say a close second would be Richard Skog. And third could be any number of guys.
Well, Travis Ortmark, believe me, this guy ain't small. And interesting that he was saying there's a huge amount of friendship between all of the strongmen. That's absolutely true, Colin. But as soon as the whistle goes, that friendship is all forgotten.
Oh, you bet. And he's going for the 5 stones here in a quicker time than Peterson. 39 seconds is what he's got to beat. Well, he's going to be close to that now.
Just taking his time to get himself settled for the last stone. 200 kilograms in weight, 440 pounds. He's going to have to fight to get it up there. The clock is ticking away, but looking good. He's done it. 37.15. That is the quickest time so far. So Travis Ortmark is in pole position again. Good performance.
Tremendous performance, and the pressure now on Skog.
Richard Skog goes next. Here comes Norway's strongest man. Well, as Ortmeyer was saying, he is a big fella, absolutely rock solid.
I mean, you look at the width of his back. You could broadcast a movie on the back of that thing. He's just so wide, isn't he?
You could start a new business, couldn't you? Richard Skog drive-in movies. No, he really is a super strong man. Very athletic too, and that's what sets these men apart. The more athletes you get involved in this sort of sport, the bigger and better and stronger they're all going to be. Now, he's got this last one. It's a big weight, 200 kilos. What do you reckon? Could he do it?
Well, he did that fourth stone in 23 seconds. He's got it to his hips. He's not going to give in easily now.
Oh, it's close. It's close, and Ortmeyer is still in the lead, that's for sure. And Richard Skog there, well, I think it's only going to be 4 stones that will count in a pretty good time, but this stone is an absolute beast.
Trying to read tacky, Paul, but how many times have we seen this? You miss it the first time. When do you get it the second time? Almost never. Crowd wants it, though.
Well, if you've had one stab at it, you just lose the edge a little bit. You lose your sharpness.
Well, he's got it to his hips. Goodness
Oh, my
me.
goodness. Good effort. Unlucky for Richard Skog of Norway. He's going to have to be satisfied with just 4 lifts. He tried his heart out there, and in the end, he couldn't quite do it. So it's victory for Travis Ortmeyer. Big, big points for the American.
Travis, you pleased with the stones?
No. You know, it's been a long day. I'm pretty tired, and I don't know what they were doing, but there was pieces of plastic on the stones, and my hands were sliding on it. And in a perfect world, I'd have gotten sub 20. But today, I'm happy mid-30s, something like that. At least I still won them.
Now, there's one more event, and it's the wheelbarrow. Does that make you nervous for holding on to your lead?
You know, normally that'd be a pretty good event for me, but I'm starting to feel the jet lag catching up. All I really want is a nap right now, but maybe I can hold on, you know?
Ortmeyer nails the stones, once again showing why he calls himself the Texas Stone Man. As for Jimmy Marku, it's contest over. He's wisely called it a day. Ortmeyer now leads the contest by 5.5 points ahead of Skog. Koklaev another half point back with just one event to go. Welcome back to Norway. One deciding event to go. Over to Colin and his footman to tell us what it is.
Now, the final event is normally the Atlas stones, but here in Norway, they've cooked up something horrible. It's the wheelbarrow event. Sven, what is it?
Well, it's really heavy, Colin. We already placed 220 kilo in the bottom of the wheelbarrow, and we're going to load 4 objects weighing 100 kilo each to finish up with 600 kilo.
And how far do they have to then push the wheelbarrow?
Just another 5-6 meters, but it's going to be a grueling last event.
Well, Kevin Nee of the United States certainly did find it grueling. He only completed a distance of 8.2 meters. Stefan Petersen of Iceland, he finished the course in 43.30. Mikhail Koklaev of Russia now. We've already seen a couple of competitors try this, and the leading performer so far is Petersen, 43.30. But as Colin Bryce said right at the beginning, this is grueling. And I don't even think the great Sven Karlsson would fancy his chances on this one.
Now it's the accumulative weight on this one. Slowly grinds you down. Goes back to get the 4th implement. Once this is in, he's got to pick it up and try and push it to the end of the course.
Tell you what, it's a big old barrow, isn't it? My goodness. Now come on, drive it on. Koklaev there, driving towards the finish, 35.19. That is a good performance. Almost pushed a few people off the stage there too. Richard Skog, you know what a fearsome competitor he can be. It's certainly a very good time by Russia's Koklaev, the 35.19 that he's got to try and beat. And this again is a combination of super strength, but you've got to have the endurance factor as well.
Well, we know he's a former Special Services soldier. Certainly Skog has that in an abundance. And it's so tight in points between Skog and Koklaev. Whoever wins this goes through as second place between the two of them. Ortmeyer's got first wrapped up already, and Skog's making a charge.
This is fitness personified. He goes into the lead, 31.9, and there's a little bit of pain there as well. Great finish by Norway's strongest man. Well, Travis Ortmeyer, he's safe and sound in terms of going through to the final, but he wants to finish off with a flourish here. The clock starts, and spread around the stage are these tremendously heavy objects. So straight into the wheelbarrow goes the barrel. You've got to stack it pretty evenly and neatly as well, so the wheelbarrow's not off balance, haven't you?
Yeah, that's right. That was one of the problems with Kevin Nee. Of course, that bicep didn't help him either, but look at this. Can Ortmeyer win the final event here? He doesn't even need the win. It's all about pride for the big Texan.
Well, Ortmeyer heading towards the finish, 31.9 of Richard Skog, and that has gone. So Ortmeyer finishes outside of that first place. He wanted to finish off with a flourish and maximum points, but it's Norway's chance to shine here. So well done to Richard Skog, 31.90 did it for maximum points. Travis Ortmeyer, though, never really out of the top three in any of the competitions, and Koklaev of Russia finishing in third. Well, it was pretty safe, even going into the last event, as to who would qualify for World's Strongest Man. But Travis Ortmeyer is the man of the moment, 61 points ahead of Richard Skog and Koklaev.
So, Travis, you must be pretty pleased with today's success.
You know, couldn't be much happier. First time in Norway, a victory. Maybe it's a good country for me. I'm going to come here every time I get a chance.
And to beat names like Misha Koklaev, Richard Skog, he's on fine form, isn't he?
Oh, man, both those guys, they were tough. You know, it was my predictions from the beginning. I thought they were going to be tough, and they proved it. It was a fight to the last event.
Now, when's that prediction that you're going to win World's Strongest Man going to come true then?
I predict I'm going to win it this year, 2009. I've already written it down. Signed my name, Travis Ortmeyer, World's Strongest Man 2009. I got to make it become true. I can't be a liar, so...
You sure you're not scared of Poundstone?
Got to be worried about all the guys, because you never know who's going to be on form. But Pound Cake, any of the other guys, they're all tough, you know? And they're going to bring it. I think I'll bring a little more, though.
Excellent. Well done today. Great job. You look exhausted.
I am. Yeah, I can't wait to go sit down. It's been a great day.
Oh, well done.
So Stavanger proves to be yet another success for the US, with Travis Ortmeyer's triumph hinting at their potential dominance on the world stage in the finals to be held here in Malta later in the year. But the mountains of Stavanger also serve to inspire Richard Skog, who must himself now be viewed as a potential winner. For Jimmy Marku, it's a race to see if he can heal up in time to get a wild-card entry to the finals. Next up, we're in Poland. Will UK athletes Mark Felix, Darren Sadler, Rob Frampton or Lawrence Chalet fare any better? We shall wait and see. Until then, goodbye.